a little live on like getting to New York, what we did in New York, and getting from New York to Montreal. I'm just going to do a little, probably a shorter live now, just on what we did in Montreal, in case anyone is interested and wants some inspiration of what to do themselves. I'm going to try and do lives for each day of this holiday, really, but pending reception, of course. My YouTube bootcamp has suggested doing live, so I'm going to do lives. So Montreal, I'd never been to Montreal before. Been to Canada before a couple of times, but never Montreal. Have to say, both Dave and I ignorantly didn't realize how French it would be. Now, I knew that it was a very French part of Canada, but I don't know. I just assumed that it was like everything bilingual, sort of French and English. And I think everyone does speak English. Now, we have tried our hardest to speak French first because it's polite. You know, it's the language of the country. And we have tried. And bless them, I think people have appreciated us trying. My trying is not as good as Dave's trying. Bless him, he's very good at languages. I'm not. But I've tried, and I've always been polite in a different language. And but people, so I went to buy something earlier, and then the lady answered me in English. So there we are. But yeah, we try. I think it's always polite to try to speak the language, or at least if you can't, at least know the polite words like please, thank you especially, and like, oh, I'm sorry, or, but yeah, yeah, I mean, all the road signs and stuff are all French. Everything's French, which should not come as a surprise to me, but I don't know. I just assumed it would all be English and French. I think coming from a country that has its own different language, like Welsh, all our signs are Welsh and English, but then English is the main sort of language of the country, really. Welsh is more unusual. And here, French is very much the language. So we arrived here late last night and then went straight to sleep. And I had booked a walking tour for this morning via Viator with MTL Detours, which is a local walking guide company. And I had booked a tour. So I'd seen it on Viator and I wanted to do something different, rather than like an open top bus tour, or, seeing the cathedral and the port, and all very nice and has its time and place, but I just wanted to do something different and memorable. So I didn't know until today that Montreal has the RESO, like an underground sort of system of interconnecting corridors, basically, underneath. Well, they're not all underground, and our guide took quite umbrage at people calling it underground, but it's kind of under the buildings, maybe, rather than underground. So some of them are underground, but others are on the ground. And then I think because a bit of Montreal is on a hill, so yeah, it's not always on the ground. But then some of them are tunnels, like bridges above as well. But it was fascinating. So this guide took us on a tour around Montreal around the RESO. It was really interesting. You could get from so many hotels, so many shopping malls, so many offices, and the trains as well, just by train stations and metros by corridor. It's amazing. And he took us all around. He showed us sort of bits of downtown Montreal as well. He was fascinating, really. Yeah, it was a really good tour. It cost, I think, £54 for the both of us, so that was really reasonable. We tipped, but we had to tip in US dollars because we didn't have any Canadian dollars, having arrived only last night. Oh, someone's made a comment, but it's a nasty one, so let's remove it. Yes, so it was a really good tour anyway. I really recommend it. So it was Montreal, so it's MTL Detours. You'll find them on Instagram. And yeah, really reasonable. They do lots of other tours as well, like of the old town. I think they do food walking tours, all sorts of different tours. I'd highly recommend them. After that tour, we wanted to go to see the Formula One track, to walk the track. So we were going to get the tube or the metro. It was all planned, and then the metro had a strike today. So they were striking during all times other than rush hour. So when we wanted to go, it was not rush hour. So instead we got an Uber. So the Uber cost about £13. And not sure he knew where he was going. We ended up driving on the track with the Uber, which driving's allowed, we since realised after, but I'm not sure he entirely knew where he was going, what he was doing. So we got out quite soon after the track and was like, we can be dropped off here. We walked the track. It was really interesting. We love Formula One, so we've been to quite a few races now and been on a few tracks. So it was nice walking around, saw lots of groundhogs, lots of Canada geese. It was quite quiet. There was lots of cyclists going around, but not so many people walking. People could drive around as well. So the track, I think it was about 5 kilometres in all. It was supposed to forecast to rain today, but it didn't, luckily, so we didn't get wet. It was nice, yes, it's all flat. And yeah, it was nice walking past the pit lane. And then we went a bit more than where we were dropped off, and then we took a bridge over to the local metro station there, and then we got the metro back into central Montreal. That cost $3.75 in Canadian dollars. And then we got the metro back to Victoria Square and then walked back to our hotel. We also went for what we affectionately call dinner. So we'd had breakfast this morning. We didn't have lunch, and we merged our lunch and dinner into one and had a meal at sort of 4 in the afternoon to do as for the day. Has done as for the day. It's now 9:30. My husband's asleep and I'm about to go to sleep. We went to a lovely Greek restaurant, a local restaurant, and had a lovely chicken pizza with some tzatziki and salad and chips and rice, although I couldn't eat the rice. No, neither was good. There was very generous portions, good value for money, very friendly service. Again, we tried French and were answered in English. So we're content with the fact we tried. But clearly it's obvious, the accent, we're not proficient, should we say. So yeah, it was good. And now we're back in our loft, resting and then going to sleep. And then tomorrow we are boarding Azamara Quest here in Montreal. We're going to walk to the port. It's not far from here, a couple of blocks away. And yeah, exciting. And then I'll take you on Azamara Quest with us. I haven't bought internet access yet, but I will. And yeah, hopefully I'll inspire you to take your own Canada, New England cruise. Thanks for watching.